Today I want to talk about the enclosures I just built for my boas. Recently I was looking at my boas. They're getting a little bit big for the V70 tubs that they were in. So I wanted to buy some enclosures to put them in. Normally I would build my own stuff, but my wife and I have had a lot of projects going on, house projects, repairing the roof on my porch, a lot of other things, that, bathroom remodel and other things that we had to do. So I really haven't had a whole lot of time to devote to building snake enclosures or anything like that. So I figured I would buy them. But the thing is, when I looked online and I was comparing prices and quality, the Animal Plastics brand came out on top as far as build quality and prices. And so the one I was looking at was their T8 version. And because I wanted something that would fit on top of my ball python rack that I built several years ago. I wanted something that would fit in between here and I could stack. And their 12 by 48 by 24 T8 model fit the bill, and the price wasn't too bad either. And they had them for around $180 a piece, and that's without any accessories. And it was $55 shipping, which honestly wasn't too bad. So I was going to go with that. Then I started reading the reviews about their lead times, and there were a lot of people who were very, very upset about how long the lead times were taking. And when I looked, and some of these lead times, and I'm not kidding when I say this, were almost a year. And I don't care how good a quality something is, a year's a long time to wait for a product. Some people waited 9 months. Someone else waited 7 months. I mean, that's a long, long time to be waiting. Someone had said they even forgot they had ordered it. That's how long it took. And when they called Animal Plastics, they would get no answer. And after several calls and several emails, then they got a response. And I'm not bashing Animal Plastics by any means. I'm just saying what I read in the reviews and why I finally decided that's just too long. I'm going to build my own. So despite all the projects I had going on, I decided, screw it, I'm going to build my own. So I'm going to tell you what it cost me to build these 4 enclosures that you see up here. This is the equivalent to the Animal Plastics T8, which is 24 feet deep, 24 inches deep, 12 inches high, and 48 inches wide. So it's 2 feet by 1 foot by 4 feet. And I built 4 of those. So my total cost for this was $800, whereas the total cost if I would have got them through Animal Plastics would have been around $1,400. So I did save money, but the whole thing for me to build them was not really to save money. It was because I needed them quickly. And what I did was I took 1 week off of work and built these 4 in 1 week. So I had 4 enclosures in a week, where it sounds like if I would have gone through Animal Plastics or some of the other manufacturers out there, I would have waited months and months. Animal Plastics was not the only one who had long lead times. I just want to point that out. Every single manufacturer that I looked at that makes enclosures, they were 4 months out, 5 months out. That was the common thing I kept reading in the reviews for each of these people. Each of these manufacturers is long lead times for all of them. So to break it down, the PVC, I got PVC from Lowe's in my area. Not all Lowe's carries it, so I did find Home Depot. More Home Depot stores carried PVC than did Lowe's. Only one Lowe's in my area carried PVC. Almost all of the Home Depots in my area carried PVC. The reason I chose Lowe's to get it is because it was $28.33 a panel, and that was a 2x4 panel. Whereas at Lowe's, it was about $15 extra each panel. So it was cheaper to get it at Lowe's. Plus, I thought Lowe's, the PVC at Lowe's looked better. It was more white, whereas the PVC at Home Depot had a yellowish tint to it. It was like an off-white. And I'm speaking of the half-inch PVC. They only carried white PVC. They did not have black. So the PVC, all in all, I needed 14 panels. It cost me $400. The glass that I got, it's cheaper to get glass made than it is to get plexiglass. I thought it would be reverse. I went to Lowe's. I went to buy the 1/4-inch plexiglass to do 8 panels, and it was about $240. So I thought that was pretty steep. So I found a glass store actually up the street from me that sells stained glass, and I decided to stop in there and ask them, do you sell panes of glass and do you cut them to fit? And they said they do, and it came out to $113 for 8 panels. And I believe it was like 10 1/4 by 22 1/2 is what I think I got. 8 of those. The rails, these rails right here that the glass slides on, if you look on Amazon, you can find plastic rails for about $30. I went with aluminum rails because I know from in the past, plastic rails, after glass has slid on them for quite a while, it can wear it down, and you can get cracks in it. Whereas the aluminum, that's going to last you forever. And so the aluminum's more expensive. It was $50 for a 6-foot. So what I did was I got 3 of those for $150, and I cut 4 feet, and then the 2 feet that were left over, I just butted them together. But anyway, 3 sections of rail will do. Gave me enough for 4 and left me with 2 feet of railing for any future builds that I use. But that was $150. The finger pulls, the little stick-on finger pulls so that you can slide the glass, those came out to $22 for 8 of those. The pulleys, and I'll show you the pulleys. They look like little train cars, but it's what your glass rests on, so that they'll roll in the rails. Because one thing I found, when I put the glass inside the aluminum rails, they rubbed and just would not slide very well. So I actually had to look online for a solution, and the solution I found was these little pulleys. They look like little train cars. They'll hold the glass, the 1/4-inch glass in there, and they just roll. And man, they slide so nicely. Those were $40. Those were on Amazon. And I'll put links to this stuff in the description. The lights I bought a light kit, an LED light kit, and it just happened to come with 4 strips, which is exactly what I needed. And I'll show you those in a bit. They also talk to Alexa, so I just tell Alexa to turn those on, and they just come on. Those were $30. The heat tape and the plug for the heat tape was $30. I got that from Reptile Basics. And then hardware was $13. So it all came out to $798, so roughly $800. And for Animal Plastics, if I would have gone through Animal Plastics and got their light kit and got the sliding glass doors and got the shelving system, because I do have shelving systems in each of these. And the reason I had that is because I had some leftover PVC. So I figured, why not give them shelving systems? All in all, that would have come out to $300 per enclosure, plus $55 shipping for each enclosure. So that came out to $1,420. So $800 versus $1,400, that's a good reason to build your own. Plus, 1 week compared to many months of waiting is another reason why you might want to build your own. So let me show you these up close and tell you a little more about them. So here are the enclosures. Like I said, there's 4 of them. And these are for my boas. My ball pythons are down here. I built this rack several years ago. These are 28 quart tubs. And I keep my ball pythons in these. I've got another video on this out on YouTube if you want to see that. But these do great for housing my ball pythons. This is one of my larger males. But I built these enclosures to sort of match the T8 version of animal plastic. So from end to end, that's 4 feet. So that's 48 inches, and it fits perfectly. If you see that, it fits perfectly in here. Then they're 1 foot high. Each of these are 1 foot high, which is actually plenty of space for my boas. You can see Bourbon, he likes to explore. For vent holes, I added these 3 lines on the sides and over in the back. So they've got ventilation on the sides here and in the back. So let's see some of these snakes. And here's an up-close shot of the finger pulls. These things are great. They come 2 in a pack, 1 for each door. And you just peel the back off and stick them on. And let me tell you, they don't ever feel like they're going to come off. They stick very, very well. This is a female of mine, and she is an Aztec 66% sharp snow. And so I bought this little guy over here. He's hiding, but I got him at a Repticon. He's a sharp albino, 100% Anery 1. So he's a snow maker. So when he gets a little older, I'm going to go ahead and breed him to her and try to prove her out. These here are the little train cars that I was talking about. And the glass just rests right in those, and they slide very nicely. And then you get the jeweler's locks. I think all in all, they were about 40 bucks or so for the 4 of them. This here is my rainbow boa. So these snakes were previously in V70 tubs, and they were doing fine in them. But I wanted to give them something bigger, something they can crawl around. So all this here, these were extra pieces that I had left over after the build. And so I went ahead and made shelves. So there's a shelf on each side for both of them. I mean, for all the enclosures I built. And let me tell you, the boas use it. They love it. There's many times where I look and they're just laying out across. And then they also use them as hides. They climb under. So here's an example of the lighting. That's a light strip that I got. And I connected it to Alexa, so I'll show you how that works. Back up. Let me close the blinds. Make it a little darker in here. Alexa, turn on snake lights.
Okay.
So they're LED strips. They're about 1 foot long. And when you buy them, they come with these little plastic clamps. Rubber clamps, I should say. And then I bought extra and put some extra up here to hold the ends. And the reason I did that is because, so you peel the back off, and you stick the light on. And these are made for under cabinets, you know, kitchen cabinets and stuff. The stick, the glue that's on the back of those are very, very good. However, anyone that owns snakes knows that they will get, like, they'll crawl through the cords and just pull lights down. And so I found that my snakes were crawling behind the cords, pulling the lights down. So I went ahead and bought extra clips and put the clips up right underneath the ends. And ever since I've done that, I have not had an issue with them pulling down the lights. And then this is one of my dwarf boas, Bourbon. He's a T-positive Sunglow. And then up there I've got his mate Tequila, which is Caramel Albino, T-positive. So those are my enclosures that I built. I just wanted to show them to you. This isn't a how-to build video because there's a ton of those out there already. I just wanted to show you the enclosures I built that are comparable to the Animal Plastics T8 model, and give you a cost analysis of what it cost me to build this compared to what it would have cost to buy at Animal Plastics or any others. I mean, Animal Plastics was the cheapest. So that $1,400 for the 4 would have cost you even more had you gone, you know, to some other place, some other enclosure manufacturer. So you can save quite a bit of money just building them yourself. But for me, it was the lead times. I was so busy with projects. I really didn't want to have to build these. I wanted to just purchase some and have them already done for me, and just leave that in the hands of someone else. But man, after seeing those lead times, I mean, people were waiting 17 weeks, 20 weeks. I mean, that's just way, way, way too long to be waiting. I mean, half a year, almost a full year. I mean, go and read those reviews. Go and read them and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's a long, long time. I don't care how well built something is. That's a long time to wait for something. Especially when you're spending hundreds or thousands of dollars. I mean, that's just too long. So I just decided, screw it, I'm going to build my own. And you can see it can be done, and you can have your enclosures like that if you build them. You don't have to wait. And cool thing is you can build them to your needs. You know, if when you buy from Animal Plastics or anybody else, basically you're kind of limited to what they've got, unless you pay a little extra to have it custom made, and then usually that adds even more lead time to your order. So if you do it yourself, you can build it custom to your environment, you know, your living room and the space that you have. So anyway, those are my enclosures. If you have any questions, let me know, and thank you for watching.